You see that? Hey, friend. This is a story about a cat named Max who seemed worthless in people's eyes, but was actually just waiting for the right person. And sometimes a single moment is enough to change a life. You can do it. Good morning. When I lost my 12-year-old cat Luna, everything in the house lost its meaning. Her meowing, the sound of her paws running to the kitchen at midnight, waking me up in the morning by pawing my face. It all stopped at once. And what remained wasn't just silence. It was a massive void between my husband and me, one that neither of us dared to fill. My husband James made a firm decision after Luna's death. We're not getting a new pet for at least 2 years. To him, this was respect for Luna. We had to live through our grief, not immediately replace her with someone else. I agreed with him at first, but with each passing day, that silence grew heavier. 6 months later, one morning while drinking coffee, I looked at my phone and a shelter post appeared. Urgent, last 48 hours for placement. In the photo was a gray and white cat, curled up in a small ball in the corner of his cage. His eyes weren't even looking at the camera. It was as if he'd already given up. That day, when I got home from work, I didn't tell James anything, but the next morning I said, "Let's just go look." He said, "Honey, I'm not ready." But he saw something in my eyes. Maybe desperation, maybe hope. And finally, he said, "Okay, just to look." When we arrived at the shelter, the first thing I saw was chaos. Barking dogs, meowing cats, running volunteers. And in the back, in the middle of the silence, there was Max. On top of his cage, a red tag. 48 hours left. Adoption urgent. The staff member was a young woman. Her name was Sarah. "You want Max?" she asked, surprised. To be honest, nobody even looks at him. He's very distant, doesn't approach people, doesn't play, doesn't meow. Those aren't good things in a shelter. Her words broke my heart. "So, what happens to him?" I asked. Sarah's face tightened. "If nobody takes him by tomorrow, we have to release him back to the streets. But he won't survive out there. He's too timid." I touched James's arm. "Let's just take a look." When I opened the cage, Max didn't even move. I slowly reached out my hand, tried to pet his head. He pulled away, didn't run, but didn't allow it either. Then I tried to pick him up. His body was tense, almost rigid. He wasn't trying to push me away, but he definitely didn't want to be in my arms. "You see," Sarah said in a sad voice, "he's sweet, but he doesn't want to bond. People feel that." If you're still here watching and haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that button. Stories like Max's deserve to be shared, and your support helps me bring more of these heartwarming rescues to you. I put him back. My heart was broken. Maybe James was right. Maybe we weren't ready. Maybe Max wasn't ready. We were about to leave when James stopped. "Wait a minute," he said. "Can I try?" Sarah was surprised. "Sure, but I don't think it'll make much difference." James walked toward the cage. He crouched down, and in that moment, my husband, who hadn't been a cat person for years, who said he'd never want another cat after Luna, looked at Max and whispered, "Hey, buddy, I understand you. I also struggle with new people." Then he slowly reached out his hand. Max didn't pull away. James gently lifted him up, and in that moment, Max pressed his head against James's chest and started purring. I froze. Sarah froze. James's eyes filled with tears. Max became a ball in James's arms, as if his entire life he'd been waiting for exactly this moment. His tail was gently swaying, his eyes were closed, his purr was so loud that staff members came from the hallway. This "This is impossible," Sarah said. "Max has never acted like this, ever." James looked at me. For the first time since Luna's death, I saw hope in his eyes. "I think he chose us," he said. We brought Max home that day. The first week was strange. Max didn't meow at all. He moved silently, ate, drank water, but made no sound. We took him to the vet. "Physically healthy," he said, "but he's probably experienced trauma. It might take time for him to speak." 10 days later, at breakfast, Max came next to James and said a soft "murr," his first sound. James's eyes filled with tears. "Hey, buddy," he said. "I'm glad to hear your voice." From that day on, Max did the same ritual every morning. As soon as James woke up, he'd run to him, go to the bathroom with him, sit on the sink edge while he brushed his teeth and watch him, as if saying, "I'm here, you're not alone." But there was a problem. Max wouldn't sleep with us. Every night, we'd invite him to the bedroom. We'd prepare soft blankets, heated pillows, but Max would always go to the cold living room floor. He'd lie there, look at us, and sleep. "Why does he do that?" I asked James one night. James looked at Max for a long time. Then he said, "Maybe he doesn't believe it yet. Maybe he can't convince himself this is really his home. He's used to cold floors. Comfort scares him." That night, I cried. I'll never know what Max experienced in his past, but I know this. That cat lying on the cold floor once believed in a warm home and lost it. Once loved and was abandoned. And now he's building walls around himself to protect himself. But every day, those walls are crumbling a little more. Max now touches us, tail bumps, purrs, plays. Sometimes, very late at night, he even comes to our bedroom door. Doesn't come in, but he's getting closer. James says, when the time comes, he'll decide for himself. And I'm waiting, because Max taught me something. Sometimes those who need love the most show it the least. Sometimes changing a life is a split-second decision. And sometimes meeting the right person at the right time changes everything. Max still sleeps in the living room, but there's no more fear in his eyes. There's trust, and I know that one day he'll walk through that door, jump on our bed, and finally realize he's home. What do you think? Do pets really decide who chooses them, or do we choose them? Leave a comment and share your thoughts. I'm curious to know.